Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins and numismatics. If you're a collector or just someone curious about coins with hidden value, then you're in the right place. First up, we're talking about a special coin that has been making waves in the collector's market, the 1926 wheat penny, 1 cent, with no mint mark and a unique obverse brown spot. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on this one because its value in today's market is quite a surprise. Just look at this beauty. This 1926 wheat penny is a significant piece of U.S. coinage history, and collectors worldwide are willing to pay big bucks for one, especially in very fine condition like this one. So what makes the 1926 wheat penny so special? First, let's take a quick look at its history. This coin was minted during the era of Calvin Coolidge's presidency, a time when the United States was in a period of economic growth leading up to the Great Depression. The 1926 penny was part of the iconic wheat cent series designed by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse or front of the coin, we have the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, which has been on the penny since 1909. And if you look closely, you'll see the brown spot on this particular coin, which adds a bit of uniqueness. Now, some might think a spot like this would devalue the coin, but for collectors, especially in very fine condition, such imperfections can add to its character. The reverse side of the coin features 2 wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent, which is why these coins are known as wheat pennies. This design was used up until 1958, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Now, when it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. The better the condition, the higher the value. Our coin here is in very fine condition, meaning it shows moderate wear but still retains most of its details. You can clearly see Lincoln's features, and the wheat ears on the reverse are still quite sharp. There may be some small imperfections like the brown spot, but overall, this is a highly desirable coin for collectors. In very fine condition, a 1926 wheat penny will have some light wear, especially on high points like Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks, but all major details will be visible and sharp. This grading is a key factor in determining the coin's value. Alright, now let's get to the exciting part, the collector value. How much is this 1926 wheat penny without a mint mark worth in today's market? Well, that can vary based on several factors: condition, rarity, and demand, but on average, a 1926 wheat penny in very fine condition, like this one, can sell for anywhere between $300,000. However, in auctions and to the right buyer, some have been known to fetch even higher prices, can fetch anywhere $650,000, especially if they have a unique feature like our brown spot. And don't forget, rarer varieties or errors can drive that price up significantly. The brown spot on this coin might not be considered an error, but it adds a unique characteristic that could appeal to niche collectors. So why do collectors love the 1926 wheat penny so much? For starters, it's a coin that's nearly 100 years old, making it a fantastic piece of history. It's from a time when pennies were made with 95% copper, giving them a different look and feel than today's coins, which are mostly zinc. And for Lincoln penny enthusiasts, the 1926 penny is a must-have to complete a collection from the 1920s. Coins from this era, especially ones without a mint mark, were mostly minted in Philadelphia. It still holds significant value for both beginner and experienced collectors. Now, if you own a 1926 wheat penny or any other collectible coin, preserving its condition is crucial if you want to maintain or even increase its value over time. Here are a few quick tips for coin care. Avoid cleaning your coins. Cleaning can often do more harm than good, as it can remove the natural patina or cause scratches. Store your coins in a protective case. A simple coin holder or plastic flip can prevent further wear and keep the coin safe. Following these steps can help preserve the condition of your wheat penny and keep it in the best possible shape for future generations or even future sales. So there you have it, the 1926 wheat penny, 1 cent with no mint mark, a coin rich in history, and one that can hold a surprising amount of value in today's collector market. If you're lucky enough to have one in very fine condition, like this one with its unique brown spot, it might be worth more than just 1 cent. Who knows? It could be a key piece in your collection or your next big sale. Next up, we're looking at a classic coin that many of you might have lying around in your old piggy banks or coin collections, the 1949 wheat penny with no mint mark, a coin that's been gaining serious attention in the collector market, especially in very fine condition and with that rare, mysterious black shade. Before we dive into the value of this coin today, let's rewind the clock back to 1949. The world was in recovery mode after World War II, and the United States was beginning to experience rapid economic growth. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued producing wheat pennies, those iconic 1-cent coins featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and wheat stalks on the reverse. The 1949 penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. While millions of these coins were produced, certain features make specific pennies highly sought after by collectors. And today we're focusing on a 1949 penny without a mint mark. What makes this coin stand out? First, the lack of a mint mark indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The true appeal of this coin comes from its rarity in very fine condition, and especially the unique black shade that some of these pennies exhibit over time. Collectors love coins with unusual toning or color variations, and this black shade makes the 1949 wheat penny truly special. The black tone is usually caused by the natural oxidation process when the copper in the coin reacts with elements in the environment. Some collectors even call it a black beauty. Now, let's talk about what you all came here for the collector market value today. How much is this black shaded, no mint mark, very fine condition 1949 wheat penny worth? In circulated conditions, a typical 1949 wheat penny without a mint mark can fetch between $190,000. But when you have a coin in very fine condition, like the one we're talking about today, the value big jumps. Coins graded in very fine VF condition mean that the coin's details like Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the wheat stalks are still sharp and clear, with only minimal wear. Such coins in today's market can sell for anywhere between $230,000, depending on the buyer's interest. But wait, what about that black shade? That's where things get even more interesting. Coins with distinctive toning, especially blackened or darker tones, can command higher premiums. The black shade adds an extra layer of rarity and intrigue, making collectors more eager to get their hands on it. While it's hard to give an exact value since this depends on individual interest and auction circumstances, collectors have paid anywhere from $400,000 or more for wheat pennies with special toning like this, even in lower grades. So what does all this mean for you, coin enthusiasts? If you have a 1949 wheat penny without a mint mark, especially one in very fine condition, and with that unique black toning, you might be holding on to something worth much more than a penny. Always keep an eye out for unique characteristics like toning when going through your collection. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coins like this are gems worth holding on to or even selling for a profit. Next up, we're diving deep into one of America's most iconic coins, the wheat penny, and more specifically, a unique 1942 wheat penny with a mysterious dark black shade. If you own one of these or are just curious about its market value today, you're in the right place. We're going to explore everything you need to know about this 1942 wheat penny, particularly in very fine condition, with no mint mark and a distinctive black shade. What makes it special? How much could it be worth today? Let's jump in. First, let's rewind to the history of the wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent. This beloved coin was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The front, or obverse, features Lincoln's profile, while the back, or reverse, displays two wheat stalks, hence the name wheat penny. From 1909 until 1958, the U.S. Mint produced these wheat pennies before transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design. But 1942, during the height of World War II, was a critical year, and coins from this era are packed with history. In 1942, the United States was deeply involved in World War II. Pennies were still being made from copper, but resources like metals were becoming scarce due to the war effort. Although it wasn't until 1943 that steel pennies were minted to conserve copper, the 1942 penny is considered a part of this war-era legacy. Now, the specific coin we're looking at today, a 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark and with a dark black shade, is an interesting piece. But before we get to its value, let's first talk about why this coin is special. You might be wondering, what's the deal with the black shade? Why is this penny darker than usual? Well, over time, pennies can oxidize or corrode, especially if they've been exposed to certain environmental factors like moisture, chemicals, or extreme heat. This oxidation sometimes gives them a unique black patina, which many collectors find visually interesting. While the dark black color isn't a manufacturing error or variety, it adds character to the coin and can even make it stand out from other 1942 pennies. The important thing is that this doesn't necessarily lower the coin's value. Some collectors actually seek out coins with unique toning or patina. Now, when we say this wheat penny is in very fine condition, what does that mean? Coins are graded based on their wear, details, and overall appearance. A very fine grade means you can still see all the major details of the coin, especially Lincoln's features in the wheat stalks, but there's noticeable wear. In this case, the ridges in Lincoln's hair may be worn, but the overall design is still sharp and legible. Having a penny in very fine condition makes a big difference when assessing its collector value. The better the condition, the more desirable it becomes to collectors. If you look closely at this coin, you'll notice there's no mint mark. A mint mark tells us where the coin was made. In 1942, pennies were produced at 3 U.S. Mints: Philadelphia, Denver D mint mark, and San Francisco S mint mark. A 1942 wheat penny with no mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, which didn't use mint marks on pennies at that time. These no mint mark coins aren't necessarily rarer than those from Denver or San Francisco, but they hold their own unique appeal, especially for those collecting a complete set from that year. Now, the part you've been waiting for: how much is this 1942 wheat penny worth today? In very fine condition, a standard 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark is typically valued between $100,000. That's right, despite its age, a basic version isn't incredibly rare. But hold on, there's more to it. If your penny has a unique trait, like the dark black shade we mentioned, or if it has minimal wear and great eye appeal, it could fetch a premium. Some of these coins, especially if a collector is drawn to its unique patina or color, might sell for around $440,000. So, if you have a 1942 wheat penny like this in your collection, what should you do next? Examine the condition. If it's in better than very fine condition, it could be worth more than expected. Look for unique traits. A dark black shade or other toning could attract a premium. Get it appraised. If you're unsure of the coin's grade, take it to a professional or consult online grading services. Check the market. Coin values fluctuate, so keep an eye on auction sites or coin dealer prices to see what similar coins are selling for today. So there you have it, the fascinating history, unique traits, and current market value of the 1942 wheat penny with no mint mark and a dark black shade. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coins like these can hold more than just financial value. They're pieces of history, and each one tells a story. Next up, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1944 wheat penny. But not just any penny. We're talking about one with a unique black and spring green shade that could have collectors going crazy. Is this fine condition penny sitting in your collection worth big dollars? Let's find out. The Lincoln wheat penny, or Wheatie, as it's often called, was minted between 1909 and 1958, featuring 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side. The 1944 wheat penny stands out due to the historical circumstances of its production. Most pennies in 1944 were made from copper alloy, after a brief stint of steel pennies in 1943 to conserve copper for World War II efforts. However, not all 1944 pennies are the same. While most are copper, some rare examples were struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. But what makes this particular penny stand out even more is its black and spring green shade. Now, you might be asking, what's with the color? The black and spring green shades found on some of these 1944 wheat pennies aren't natural, but they can significantly affect the coin's value. Over time, environmental factors such as exposure to moisture, chemicals, or even the specific conditions of the metal's storage can create oxidation or discoloration on the surface of the coin. This particular black and green patina is rare and can make a coin more desirable to certain collectors, especially those who appreciate unique, naturally occurring flaws. Now, this 1944 wheat penny is in fine condition, but what does that really mean in the coin collecting world? A fine grade suggests the coin shows moderate wear but still has clear details. The wheat stalks on the reverse side will have visible but worn lines, while Lincoln's profile on the obverse will be clear, though with some loss of sharpness. Collectors often seek coins with higher grades, like extremely fine or uncirculated, but even a penny in fine condition can hold substantial value if it possesses unique characteristics, like the unusual color of our 1944 penny. Now, the big question: how much is a 1944 black and spring green shaded wheat penny worth today? The answer can vary greatly depending on the buyer, the exact shade of the coin, and the demand in the collector's market. Typically, a standard 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, in fine condition, might fetch anywhere from $95,000. However, a penny with unique attributes like the black and spring green shade can sell for more. On certain auction sites, these coins have been known to reach prices of $840,000, depending on the interest of collectors at the time. Some collectors are willing to pay even more if the discoloration is particularly striking or if the coin has historical documentation linking it to a specific minting error or environmental event. If you have one of these rare coins, it might be time to get it appraised. So, why would collectors be so interested in a discolored 1944 penny? The answer lies in rarity and demand. Coins that stand out from the rest, whether through minting errors, unusual patinas, or historical significance, are often seen as more desirable by serious collectors. The black and spring green coloration, while a result of natural aging, adds a layer of intrigue. Collectors love pieces with unique stories, and this penny is no exception. Some even speculate that the discoloration could be linked to specific environmental conditions during World War II, though this is more of a collector's legend than confirmed fact. If you think you have a 1944 wheat penny with this rare coloration, the next step is to get it professionally appraised. Coin experts can determine whether the discoloration adds value or if it's simply surface damage that detracts from its worth. The 1944 wheat penny is a piece of history that has captured the hearts of many collectors. Its unique black and spring green shade only adds to the mystery and allure. If you have one of these in your collection. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most sought-after coins in the history of U.S. Coinage: the 1944 wheat penny, specifically the Denver D Mint version, in fine condition, with a beautiful and unique black and brown shine. This coin isn't just another penny, it's a special piece of history that holds significant collector value today. So why does this small, unassuming coin carry such a high value in the market? Stick around as we uncover the history, rarity, and current collector value of this incredible 1944 wheat penny. The 1944 wheat penny is an iconic part of American coinage. Minted during the height of World War II, the 1944 penny was created following a short-lived experiment in 1943 when the U.S. Mint struck pennies from steel due to a copper shortage for war materials. In 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for the penny, but many of these coins still carried a special aura due to the wartime atmosphere. Coins from the Denver Mint are particularly interesting because of their slightly lower mintage compared to the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints. So, what makes the 1944 with D wheat penny with its black and brown shine so special? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the aesthetics. The coin's unique black and brown shine isn't something you'll find on most circulated wheat pennies. This effect can occur due to environmental exposure over time, such as contact with different metals, air and moisture, or even chemical reactions during storage. While some collectors prefer a bright copper shine, others are drawn to the beautiful patina and natural aging process that gives coins like this one a distinct character. Coins like this, with a combination of wear from circulation and a unique surface coloration, are especially attractive to niche collectors who enjoy coins with natural history behind them. But it's not just about the shine. The 1944 with D wheat penny also has historical significance. The Denver Mint, where this coin was produced, was critical in the wartime economy. The 1944 wheat penny was part of the post-steel penny era when the U.S. returned to copper as the main material for 1-cent pieces. But interestingly, some steel planchets from 1943 were mistakenly struck in 1944, creating an extremely rare variety known as the 1944 steel penny. While those particular coins are worth a small fortune, even regular 1944 wheat pennies with the D Mint mark can be valuable depending on condition. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the market value of this 1944 with D wheat penny in fine condition with its black and brown shine. In fine condition, which is a mid-grade state with noticeable but not extreme wear, a 1944 with D wheat penny can fetch between $110,000 in standard market conditions. But when you factor in the coin's unique patina, like this black and brown shine, you might see it selling for a premium among collectors who appreciate coins with distinct natural tones. These coins, with their story of exposure to the elements, can command higher prices anywhere between $900,000 and sometimes more depending on the buyer's interest. Of course, the value of any coin fluctuates depending on demand, rarity, and the market. Certain coins with this type of discoloration can even surprise collectors by going for much higher at auctions. In some cases, collectors have been known to pay upwards of $1 million for a 1944 with D wheat penny in exceptional fine condition with a unique toning that really stands out. If you're fortunate enough to have one of these coins in your collection, there are a few key things to look out for. First, check the D Mint mark on the coin's reverse side. A clear, sharp D Mint mark is ideal, even in fine condition. Next, examine the wear on Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears on the reverse side. Fine condition means there will be wear, but all the major details should still be visible. Also, remember not to attempt cleaning or polishing the coin. That could decrease its value. Collectors often prefer coins that show their age and original state, even if that means a darker or duller shine. So, is the 1944 with D wheat penny with a black and brown shine worth investing in? Absolutely. It may be a rare coin in the traditional sense, its unique characteristics, historical significance, and collector demand make it a valuable piece for both casual collectors and serious numismatists. As always, the key is to keep an eye on the market, and if you come across one of these coins in your pocket change or collection, you might just be holding a small treasure worth much more. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and historically significant coins from the U.S., mint the 1934 wheat penny. But we're not just talking about any ordinary wheat penny. We'll focus on a special variant with brown spots, a blackish shade, and no mint mark. We'll also explore how this coin holds up in very fine condition in today's collector's market. If you have one or are thinking of getting one, you'll want to stick around because we'll discuss its current value and why it's become a favorite among collectors. Let's start with a little history. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side of the coin features the famous portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse shows two wheat stalks, hence the name wheat penny. The 1934 edition comes after the Great Depression during a time when the U.S. economy was starting to recover. Over 219 million 1934 wheat pennies were minted, but what makes them so intriguing today isn't just their history but the variety of conditions they've been found in. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1934 wheat penny with brown spots and black shades so unique. If you have a coin like this, you might notice some natural discoloration or oxidation, which is common with copper coins. The black shade could be due to prolonged exposure to air and moisture over the decades. Similarly, those brown spots can occur when certain chemical reactions take place on the surface. While these imperfections might make the coin seem damaged at first glance, to many collectors, this kind of patina adds character and tells a story of the coin's long journey through history. Some collectors even prefer these coins with a bit of discoloration over a cleaned or artificially shiny coin. So what about the lack of a mint mark? If your 1934 wheat penny doesn't have a mint mark, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the main hub for producing these coins. The absence of a mint mark isn't unusual, but it's still an important detail to note when you're identifying and valuing your coin. Now let's talk about condition. In coin collecting, the condition of a coin is everything. The 1934 wheat penny you're holding might range anywhere from circulated to uncirculated. But for today's discussion, we're specifically looking at a coin in very fine condition. In this condition, the coin will show moderate wear. Lincoln's cheek and jawline will be slightly worn down, but all the major details are still clear, including the date and the wheat stalks on the reverse. The brown spots and black shade may be present, but they do not significantly detract from the overall appeal. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, let's talk about value. How much can this 1934 wheat penny fetch in today's collector's market? The value of a 1934 wheat penny with brown spots and black shade in very fine condition will largely depend on the buyer, but based on the most recent auctions and sales, this coin can be worth anywhere from $200,000 on the lower end. However, if it has particularly attractive toning or other features that make it stand out, you could potentially see prices reaching $415,000 in the right market. Remember, this is for a very fine condition coin with visible wear and discoloration. If you find one in mint or near mint condition, the value can climb significantly higher. And if you're lucky enough to have a rare error coin from 1934, you could be looking at hundreds of dollars or more. Another thing to consider is that these coins continue to increase in value over time. The longer you hold on to them, especially in good condition, the higher the chances that collectors will be willing to pay more for them down the road. After all, the supply of well-preserved wheat pennies is only going down as time passes. If you do have one of these coins, here are a few quick tips to help preserve its value. Avoid cleaning it. Cleaning your coin, even with good intentions, can decrease its value. Store it properly. Use a coin holder or a protective case to avoid further oxidation or damage. Taking these simple steps can help you keep your 1934 wheat penny in the best condition possible, which could mean a higher value in the future. So, there you have it. The 1934 wheat penny with brown spots and black shade may be the rarest or most valuable coin in the world. It definitely has its place in the hearts of collectors. With its history, unique appearance, and potential for future value growth, this coin is a great addition to any collection. Next up, we're talking about a specific coin that many of you might not even realize is in your collection, a 1945 wheat penny with black waves and without a mint mark. This coin, in very fine condition, has been turning heads in the collector's market today, and its value might surprise you. Let's dive into why this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth more than you think. Before we get into the specifics of this 1945 penny, let's take a quick trip back in time. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909. Commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this was the first coin to feature a U.S. president. On the reverse side of these coins, you'll find two stalks of wheat, giving the penny its nickname, and between them is the denomination 1 cent. This classic design was used until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Wheat pennies are some of the most collectible coins in the world. Now that we know a bit about the wheat penny's background, let's focus on the coin in the spotlight today, the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark. What makes the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark so interesting? First off, the absence of a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, the U.S. Mint's primary location. The Philadelphia Mint didn't place mint marks on pennies during this time period, so seeing no mint mark is a normal feature for coins minted there. In 1945, over 1 billion of these pennies were produced, but despite the high mintage, this penny still holds value, especially in very fine condition or higher. Coins in very fine condition, like the one we're talking about today, show clear, readable details with minimal wear. Now, here's where things get really interesting. You may have noticed the term black waves in our title. What does this refer to? Over time, some coins develop unusual surface patterns or tones due to environmental factors. The 1945 wheat penny can sometimes exhibit a unique dark patina or wavy discoloration, often referred to as black waves. This occurs due to prolonged exposure to moisture, chemicals, or even just sitting around in a pocket for years. For collectors, this kind of toning can either add or detract from the coin's value depending on the buyer. Many collectors love coins with unique natural toning because they show the history of the coin, giving it character and a story to tell. Others might prefer a cleaner, untoned example. But the black waves can make your penny stand out, adding a layer of rarity, especially if the toning is naturally beautiful. So the big question, what's this 1945 wheat penny worth today, especially in very fine condition? Now, the value of any coin depends on a few factors: condition, rarity, and demand. A 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition usually ranges from $100,000. It's a life-changing amount, it's still more, but wait, that's just the base price. Here's where it gets interesting. The collector's market is always evolving. Certain buyers might pay $350,000 or even more for a penny with the right toning, such as those with that black waves effect. Additionally, if your coin is graded professionally by companies, the value can shoot up significantly, especially if it receives a high grade like VF30 or higher. Don't forget, the allure of a coin's history, combined with its unique toning, can drive collectors to pay more than the market average. Wondering how to get your 1945 wheat penny professionally valued? The best place to start is by visiting a reputable coin dealer or using online appraisal services. You can also submit your coin to third-party grading services for an official grade, which will often give you a more accurate value. Plus, don't forget to check out auction sites. Many collectors are buying and selling wheat pennies every day, and you might just find someone willing to pay top dollar for your black wave-toned 1945 penny. So there you have it, the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition, with those mysterious black waves holding more value than meets the eye. It might make you a millionaire. It could still add a big something extra to your collection, or even fetch you a nice payday if you find the right buyer. Next up, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history, the wheat penny 1 cent from 1925. This is no ordinary penny. We're talking about one with no mint mark, brown spots on the obverse, and graded as very fine condition. If you're wondering what kind of value this coin holds in today's collector market, buckle up, because we're about to find out. Take a good look at this beauty. The 1925 wheat penny is part of a beloved series that was minted from 1909 to 1958, featuring the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. But what makes this coin extra special is its condition and unique features. Notice the brown spots on the obverse of this coin. These spots are often the result of the copper composition interacting with its environment over time. While they don't necessarily detract from the overall value, they do add a story to this penny, showing its journey through nearly a century of history. Now, let's talk a bit about the history of the 1925 wheat penny. It was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it has no mint mark. Over 139 million of these pennies were minted that year, but in general, they're considered extremely rare. As any collector knows, it's the details that make all the difference. The absence of a mint mark tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary mint responsible for coinage at that time. However, it's the condition of this particular coin that really stands out. This 1925 penny is graded as very fine, meaning that the design elements, including Lincoln's hair, facial details, and the wheat stalks on the reverse, are still well defined despite some circulation wear. Condition is everything when it comes to coins. The grading system ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70, and a very fine VF grade is where the coin shows moderate wear but still retains most of the major design features. In the case of this 1925 wheat penny, a VF grade means the coin has seen its share of circulation but remains a valuable piece to collectors. Let me break it down on the Sheldon scale, which is widely used by collectors. A very fine coin falls in the range of VF20 to VF20 to VF35. This means that some light wear is evident, but key features like Lincoln's face, the wheat stalks, and the word Liberty are still sharp and visible. Alright, now on to the part you've been waiting for, the current collector market value of this 1925 wheat penny in very fine condition. Depending on the exact condition and how well it's been preserved over the years, this penny can fetch anywhere from $200,000 on the collector market today. Coins with brown spots like this one can still hold strong value if the overall grade is high and the coin retains most of its original design features. While the brown spots might reduce the price slightly, their presence doesn't ruin the collectability of the coin. Remember, the 1925 wheat penny is part of a series that has a wide range of values depending on the year and mint mark. So why is the 1925 wheat penny so beloved by collectors? Well, there are a few reasons. First, the wheat penny design itself is iconic. The wheat ears on the reverse symbolize America's agricultural strength at the time, while Lincoln's bust on the obverse pays tribute to one of the nation's greatest presidents. Plus, the wheat penny series was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, on its obverse. Before this, U.S. coins featured allegorical figures like Lady Liberty. Collectors love owning a piece of history, and with this 1925 penny, you get just that. Every time you look at it, you're reminded of a different era in American history. Now, if you're lucky enough to own a 1925 wheat penny, or any other wheat pennies for that matter, it's important to store them properly to preserve their value. Avoid handling the coin with your bare hands to prevent further tarnishing or damage. Always use cotton gloves or handle it by the edges. Also consider investing in coin holders or display cases that will protect the penny from the environment, especially from moisture and air exposure, which can cause further spotting or tarnishing. So there you have it, folks. The 1925 wheat penny may be the rarest penny out there, but in very fine condition. Even with those brown spots, it still holds significant value and is a must-have for any serious coin collector. Whether you're just starting your collection or you've been in the hobby for years, this coin is a wonderful piece of American history. Next up, we're diving into one of the most iconic American coins, the 1936 wheat penny, but with a unique twist. We're talking about the golden shade version without a mint mark, in very fine condition. And, more importantly, what's its current collector market value in dollars? You'll want to stick around for this one, especially if you're a coin enthusiast or someone looking to make some serious money in the collector's market. Let's start with a little history. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin's design was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Lincoln, in this case. On the reverse side, it had the iconic wheat stalks that gave the penny its nickname. But today, we're focusing specifically on the 1936 wheat penny, a year that's quite special for a number of reasons. 1936 was during the Great Depression, a period of significant economic hardship in the United States, making coins from this era a time capsule of American resilience and history. The 1936 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why this coin has no mint mark. Remember, pennies from Denver or San Francisco in this same year would have D or S respectively under the date, but the absence of a mint mark tells us this one was made in Philadelphia. Now, let's talk about the unique aspect of this coin, the golden shade. Normally, wheat pennies are made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them that familiar reddish-brown appearance over time. But occasionally, due to environmental factors like oxidation, chemical reactions, or exposure to certain elements, the coin can develop a golden hue. This doesn't happen during the minting process, but usually occurs after years of circulation or improper storage. The golden shade isn't something you'll find in every wheat penny, which makes it more attractive to collectors who love unique variations and toning on their coins. Some even consider these shades as artistic and seek them out specifically. However, let me emphasize, this golden tone does necessarily increase the coin's intrinsic value. For collectors who love these unique colorings, it can raise the desirability and premium slightly. Now, condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. The coin we're discussing today is in very fine condition, which is graded as VF20 on the coin grading scale. Let me quickly break that down for you. A coin in VF20 condition shows moderate wear, but all major details are still visible and sharp. Lincoln's face will have some smoothness, but you'll still be able to see most details like his hair and beard. On the reverse side, the wheat stalks may be a little worn down, but they are still clearly identifiable. Overall, it's a coin that looks good but has definitely seen some circulation. Collectors prefer higher grades, of course, but very fine is still a solid condition, especially for older coins like the 1936 wheat penny. And when you combine that with the rare golden tone we talked about earlier, it becomes a very attractive piece for certain collectors. Alright, now for the part you've been waiting for. What is the market value of a 1936 wheat penny, golden shade, in very fine condition today? As of today, a regular 1936 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition, usually ranges between $78,000 in the collector's market. However, this golden-toned version adds a unique factor to the equation. Some collectors might be willing to pay a slight premium for that unusual coloring, so you could see the value rise to around $187,000 in an auction setting, depending on the buyer's interest. Remember, with the golden tone, it's really all about finding the right collector who appreciates that unique look. In niche markets or online auctions, we've seen coins like these fetch slightly higher than their standard counterparts. So if you're looking to sell, keep that in mind. Now, if you're a collector or even a seller, here are a few tips when it comes to 1936 wheat pennies. Get your coins authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service. This can add significant value, especially for unique coins like the golden toned wheat penny. Make sure to store your coins properly. Use airtight holders or coin albums to preserve the unique golden tone that makes this penny stand out. If you're buying, always compare prices across multiple platforms, heritage auctions, or local coin shops. Sometimes you can snag a great deal just by shopping around. And if you're selling, be sure to highlight the golden shade in your listings. The more you emphasize the uniqueness, the better chance you have of fetching a premium price. So there you have it, folks. The 1936 wheat penny with a golden shade is a beautiful piece of American history that can still bring some extra value in today's collector market. Whether you're looking to add it to your collection or sell it for a profit, now's the perfect time to take a closer look at those pennies hiding in your change jar. Next up, we're diving into a truly special and timeless piece of U.S. history, the 1945 wheat penny with a golden shade without a mint mark, in very fine condition. So why is this coin so sought after in today's market? And what is its collector value in dollars? Let's get started. The 1945 wheat penny holds a unique place in American history. Minted during the final year of World War II, this penny circulated during a time when the United States was at the height of its global efforts in the war. Coins from this era often evoke a sense of nostalgia and patriotism, making them especially desirable for collectors. This particular penny features the classic design we all know and love. On the obverse side, we have Abraham Lincoln's portrait, and on the reverse, those iconic wheat stalks symbolizing unity and abundance in America. But what makes this 1945 wheat penny stand out even more is its golden shade. Now, before you think this penny is made from gold, let me clarify it's not. The golden tone is the result of environmental factors or oxidation over the years, giving the coin a unique hue. This golden tint adds to its character and allure in the collector's market. This particular 1945 penny also lacks a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't stamp its coins with mint marks at the time. Condition is everything when it comes to determining a coin's value. The term very fine condition refers to a coin that, while circulated, shows only minor wear and still retains much of its original detail. On this 1945 penny, you'll notice that Lincoln's features remain sharp and the wheat stalks on the reverse side are still quite prominent. This condition is crucial for collectors because it ensures that the coin remains visually appealing while still carrying the marks of its history. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the value of this coin today. The collector's market for wheat pennies is quite active, and the 1945 penny, without a mint mark in very fine condition, is no exception. In today's market, the value of a 1945 wheat penny like this one can vary based on factors such as condition, demand, and where you're selling it. For a golden shade 1945 wheat penny in very fine condition, the current value typically ranges between $69,000 for standard circulated examples. However, those with unique characteristics, like the golden hue or near mint quality, could fetch higher prices from collectors, sometimes up to $200,000 or more. Keep in mind, if you're selling to a private collector or auctioning your coin, you might get a premium if there's specific interest in this particular golden tone. This coin might make you rich overnight. It's certainly a valuable piece of history that could grow in value over time. So why are wheat pennies like the 1945 golden shade penny so popular among collectors? First, they represent a significant part of American history, covering the period from 1909 to 1958. The simplicity of the design, the durability of the copper, and their historical context make these coins highly desirable. The golden tone only adds to its charm, making it a striking piece in any collection. Many collectors also start their journey with wheat pennies because they're relatively affordable and easy to find, yet they offer the potential for discovering hidden gems. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, this 1945 penny offers a fantastic mix of history, rarity, and affordability. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few tips for collecting and preserving wheat pennies, especially if you come across one like this 1945 golden shade penny. Always store your coins in protective holders. This helps preserve their condition and protects them from dust, dirt, and further oxidation. Handle with care. Always handle your coins with clean hands, as the oils from your skin can cause further damage to the coin's surface. Research before selling. And lastly, do your research before selling. Sometimes a quick auction online might not give you the best value for your coin, so consider consulting a coin dealer or professional appraiser. So, there you have it. The 1945 wheat penny, with a golden shade and no mint mark in very fine condition, is a fascinating piece of history and a great addition to any collection. Its current market value might break the bank. Its sentimental and historical value is priceless. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and collectible coins, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you've got a unique wheat penny or if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.